I don't care myself like them other hoes, you feel me? I'm a classy hoe. What's up everyone, it's your girl, TheKyannaAlexandra, and I'm back on the screen. I'm back with another video. As you can tell by today's title, this is part 3, the final part of how I met my boyfriend. Really how we became boyfriend and girlfriend, became a couple. I don't do too much talking, okay? As you know where I left off, if you have not seen part 2 or part 1, go ahead and watch it up here. That's what I believe part 2 and part 1, okay? As we left off in part 2, my, boyfriend at the time, he wasn't my boyfriend, but we was kicking and cooling and caking. This was like December of 2019, and we were like meeting up after work, kissing or whatever, stuff like that. I get to get into an Uber because he was waiting for me to get in my Uber when we came out of work, because this is how we used to come out of work at like 12:30, like 1 o'clock damn near, because we used to work mad late. And so he was waiting for me for my Uber, and I go to kiss him, and he stepped back, and I'm like, "Ooh, baby, why you step back? What the heck?" He's like, "Oh, we gotta talk." So I'm like, "Okay, cool, we gotta talk, not a problem, right?" We still texting, killing, shaking, cooling, whatever, da-da-da. He don't tell me what's up, what's going on. So I'm like, all right, bet. Like, okay, when is he gonna tell me what he needs to talk about? Because clearly something's up, something's not right. Like, what's up? So then it was another night where we had closed the store again, and we were leaving, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we need to talk, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's up? Like, what was it the other night?" So basically he was like, "Well, I decided that I want to try to pursue this relationship with somebody else." So in my mind I'm like, well, he just told me that he wasn't talking to homegirl no more, so what? And I was like, okay, cool. And I'm like, all right, do what you gotta do. Like, thank you for letting me know. Like, you don't want to be in my face and be in shorty face, whatever the case may be. I don't know who this girl is at this point, because it's not homegirl from before, so I don't know who shorty is at this point. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, thanks for letting me know, whatever, right? I'm like, just don't let it be awkward at work. Like, I ain't got time for that ish. Like, just, we cool, we caking it, we did a little kissy kiss, touchy touch, huggy hug. That's it. Like, don't be weird. He said, okay, cool, I won't be weird. All right, bet, cool. So I see him at work, of course, and we calm, we cool, we chilling, we caking, whatever, and we become like friends, right? It's me, him, and our other friend Tyler. Like, we become friends. Like, it's the 3 musketeers. Wherever I go, they go. Wherever they go, I go. Wherever one went, the other 2 went. Like, we really the 3 musketeers in that building, right? And so I always see him hanging around this one girl. We're gonna call shorty Cheeky. I don't know, I just want to call her Cheeky. So we're gonna call her Cheeky. So he always kept hanging around Cheeky, and I'm like, he got something going on with Cheeky. Like, what's up? But I don't want to be that person that thinks like, oh well, guys always hanging out with girls, so he must got something to do with her. Like, he must be effing her. He must be da-da-da, must be. And I'm like, okay, nah. So I kind of brushed that off, right? In the same breath, there's this other girl. We're gonna call her Black Blue. I don't know, we're gonna call her Black Blue. That's just what it is, right? He was always hanging around Black Blue more than Cheeky. So I was like, okay. So now it was like Christmas time, and I see him hanging around Cheeky at Christmas time. So I'm like, all right. And they, all throughout the store, walking around, da-da-da, hanging out, looking at perfume, da-da-da, XYZ. So I'm like, okay. Meanwhile, he's also hanging out with Black Blue, but Black Blue, when I see him and Black Blue, I think of them as like siblings, or like they're real tight, real cool, like best friends, like thick as thieves. That's how I see him and Black Blue, right? Little did I know. So don't say nothing about him and Cheeky. Don't say nothing about him and Black Blue, nothing like that, because I'm not thinking about it like that. But I'm thinking about him and Cheeky a little bit more, because they just start to get real close with fast. So I'm like, dang, he want Cheeky like that. I'm like, okay, bet, cool, like that's no problem. Then this is me talking. So I find, like, I'm talking from the future to the past. So I find out that he was, chilling with Cheeky, right? But he was also chilling with Black Blue. And the thing with Black Blue blew my mind, but I can't tell y'all why, because if I tell y'all why, somebody picked this up who we work with, it's really his business, and I don't want his business out there like that. But just know he was chilling with Black Blue. So I'm like, but it took my mind away, because I never would have thought of the combination being like that. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. So people kept telling me like, yeah, him and Black Blue, like they have a thing from a long time, da-da-da. And I'm like, are y'all sure? Because I no, friends. Like, him and Black Blue just don't make no sense. And again, I can't tell you why it don't make no sense, but just know that it didn't make no sense for him and Black Blue to be together. Like, to me, because of just how the dynamic of the relationship was, I was like, that's like his bro. Like, but whatever. So I'm focused on him and Cheeky, right? Because him and Cheeky, every time Cheeky will come to work, now Cheeky getting dressed up. Now Cheeky doing the thing. Cheeky hair always done. Cheeky don't wear her glasses. She got her contacts in. Cheeky wearing lipstick. Cheeky putting on perfume. Like, Cheeky is trying to dress up. She had a uniform to be in just like everybody else. So Cheeky dressed, like, you know, when I say dress up, she put herself together. So I'm like, okay. But baby, when he wasn't there, Cheeky was bumpy. And she's not a bump girl. I'm just saying Cheeky was bumpy. Like, Cheeky hair was not done. She had her glasses on. Who cared what she smelled like that day? Like, her fingernails was not done. Like, no makeup, nothing. Cheeky was looking bummy. But the days when he'd be there, Cheeky flied out. So I'm like, oh, he got something going on with Cheeky. He trying to get with Cheeky. Okay, so go get with Cheeky, do your thing. But like I said, at this point, like, me and him was like this. We was like truly building just a friendship, just to chill. Like, really no big deal. So it's like, whatever. Ooh, baby. Come to find out, Cheeky leaves. Because this is now at the height of COVID. Like, COVID is running rampant in the state of California, you know, in the world. Like, this is March time. Boom. Like, lockdowns was happening type stuff, right? So, as he's doing the thing with Cheeky, I also see him and Black Blue, like, really kind of changing up the vibe. The vibe feels kind of touchy. The vibe feels kind of flirty. And I'm like, when did this happen? Like, was everybody right between him and Black Blue? Like, him and Black Blue was really, like, you know? But it just never occurred to me, because like I'm saying, it's not occurring to me because the dynamic of the relationship just not occurring to me. So I'm like, what the heck? But they over there, I don't want to say they groping on each other, because they don't do that. But like, you know, when you think of somebody cool, think of somebody cute, you kind of like poke them, and you kind of always in their space. You kind of, you know, trying to be up under them, just trying to get to know them, stuff like that. I'm starting to see more of that. So I'm like, huh? So it was Black Blue this whole time? So what's this thing you got going on with Cheeky? Right? Because at this point, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing, right? So, like I said, height of COVID, I don't remember who. They both Cheeky and Black Blue end up leaving. They end up going to like different states, different whatever, right? I don't know who left first. I think Cheeky left first, right? And Cheeky ended up going to like a different whatever. And I was like, okay. And, you know, cool, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. And then Black Blue ended up also going to a different state or whatever. So I'm like, okay, what's up, right? So both girls end up leaving. So now he becomes like free, available, whatever at the moment, but like I'm not really thinking nothing about it, because again, like I'm telling you from the point that I know now, because I know what was happening, but from the point that was actually happening, I didn't know what was going on. So I'm just like, okay, like they left, whatever, and like there was always a rumor that like him and Black Blue was a thing. So I asked Shorty, and Shorty was like, nah, that's not the case, you know, he got a thing for me, but I don't like him. So I was like, all right, cool, like whatever, such is life is such. So Black Blue left, and then one night it was myself, a friend of mine, Avelino, which is my boyfriend, and this other girl who we no longer speak to, right? She don't even need a name, like for real, she don't need a name. So we was all at Shorty that doesn't have a name. We was gonna call her No Name. We was at No Name's house or whatever, and it was Avelino's birthday. So when it was Avelino's birthday, we got him man drunk, man fucked up, all that, like cross-faded, everything, okay? But during the time of this, he's like, kind of, you know when guys like, you know, kind of touch you, and it was a different kind of touch, like, oh, remember like in part one where I told you he was at the dinner, and he kind of was like brushing up his leg against me. The touch was like that, and I was like, oh, okay, like we here again, like, huh? So now in my mind I'm like, so do you only like want to chill because you done with all your peoples? Like, was I like the backup thing? You know, that's how I felt. So I was like, okay, whatever. But in that moment I'm like, if you want to get it on, we get it on. Like, that's all I'm here for. That's all I'm here for. That's it. So we get him messed up to the point where like I was outside with him for like 2 hours. He was just throwing up and sleeping because he was that messed up for his birthday, y'all. I was like, okay, like we did our job. So much so that 3 of us had to call out of work, and I think No Name went to work. It was a mess, right? So that moment happened. Then Avelino and I kept texting. And then we did Cinco de Mayo at his house, and his birthday and Cinco de Mayo was like a week apart. So we went to his house. It was the same gang, me, Avelino, my other friend, and No Name. And we went to his house. We chilled, we drank, stuff like that. No Name and our other friend, they went home after like 2 or 3 or something like that. And they was like, oh, you want to get a ride? And I was like, nah, because I really don't get in cars with people drink and drive. Like, I've done that in my life. I'm not doing it no more, you know? So, baby. So I'm outside in his house. I'm about to call my Uber. He's like, nah, don't call it yet. So I'm like, what you mean don't call it yet? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, nah, still trade, I'm like, no. Like, no. Mind you, I'm not, like, I'm not fresh. You feel me? I'm not fresh at this point. So I'm like, nah. And he's like, oh, you sure? I'm like, I'm sure, but maybe another time. He's like, okay, cool. So we kiss and all this stuff, touch his feet, grabby, and I get in my Uber, and I'm like, what's happening? Like, why is this happening right now? Like, what the heck? So then we still talking, now we talking heavy. Now we talking about when we gonna get it on, we gonna get popping, we gonna do to each other, all this other stuff, right? We getting drunk and nasty in the text messages. So I'm like, okay, cool. Then it was one day where we finally did the thing, and then we did it 2 days after that. The thing, whatever. Shebang, the dang, right? And then he caught COVID. And I was like, oh, I didn't get this bad COVID. This is crazy, right? But that wasn't the case because I never caught COVID. So I was like, oh, snap, okay. So then I was like, babes, you doing somebody else? Like, this ain't a time to be having multiple partners. Like, it's COVID season. Like, no. But apparently he wasn't. So, okay, cool. So after he got rid of his COVID and stuff like that, it was a month later. So now we're looking at June. And like June, like the end of June, it was popping. We met up for the first time after that. After the 2 times we banged, we met up for the first time after that. And real stuff, like the rest was history. Like after we met that 3rd time, after he got COVID, after he got over COVID, excuse me, and then we, you know, we did the sticky icky. It's just been like sticky and ever since. So he was my sneaky link for mad long. Like nobody really knew but my friends. I don't know, I think he told his friends but not his work people. But then like some of his work people ended up finding out, but they was down people, so they didn't really say nothing to nobody. But yeah, so here's my single link for mad long, and then we went to Vegas together. And I think that at that point, mind you, we were not together, but we was like, oh, let's go to Vegas, because it was mad cheap to go to Vegas during the week. So he was like, okay, cool, let's go. And I think at that point we both were like, okay, I'm feeling you, so what's up, you know, type thing. Like, okay, so what's up, right? And then December 1st is when, you know, we became a couple. So that's how that story went down. That's how we like became official tissue. That's how, I don't know, we trekked through the mess. I don't know, like sometimes I'd be like, why me? But I asked him, I said, why me? Like, how come, like not why me, but like why at that moment? Like, why did it take so long for you to realize like you like me or you want to be with me or stuff like that? And he basically said that by the vibe that he got from me, he knew I wasn't gonna be like one of them other hoes. Like he knew I wasn't gonna be like one of them other girls that if he was gonna like really like mess with me, it was gonna be because he wanted to mess with me and not because it was gonna be some like one night stand type thing, which was so interesting because that's how we were supposed to be in the first place. Like that, how back in 2019 we were supposed to just been like a one night stand, you know. It wasn't supposed to be nothing like that, but I don't know, I guess it's all something in the kid, you feel me? Cause I don't care myself like them other hoes, you feel me? I'm a classy hoe. Now let me stop. But anyway, that's the story of how me and my boyfriend met, how we got together, you know, pretty much the rest is history. 2 years in December, you know, just all good vibes from here on out. So I hope you enjoyed this story time. I hope you enjoyed the series. Maybe I have another one for you guys. I just gotta think about it. But subscribe to my channel, turn on post notifications, comment in the comment section down below. Let me know how you like this story time. It's going to be on and popping from here on out. Go ahead and follow me on all my social medias at TheKyannaAlexandra. Follow me on Twitter at TheKyannaAlex. Follow my website, bro. I'm getting that stuff up and popping. Like, I'm really about to design the heck out of it. So it's gonna be TheKyannaAlexandra.com, baby. And let's just keep going up from here. All right. So peace.